Flyers, Phillies, let's talk about them. Sixers, Eagles, let's talk about them. What the Union doing? Pull up with the crew and have a drink or two and let's talk about them. This a PHI bar. Bruce Willis, we die hard. I know you feel us, cause Philly fans is the best sports fans by far. No cheating here, we gon' keep it fair. You don't like my set, somebody help them. This the key, if we can disagree without disrespecting, everybody welcome. So what we talking about? Practice? What we talking about? Let's unpack this. Top shelf, sports talk, lights, cameras, we active.
Yo, it's your boy Jamar, Top Shelf Sports Talk. Back on a Sunday morning. Had some technical difficulties this morning. Couldn't get my computer to act right. Sorry that I'm late. Mom, if you're here, I'm here. I'm on. I'm live. I'm ready to go. Join in. And just so you know, Mom, whenever you get on here, there's no, we're not going to discuss any type of weather. Not today. No weather. So I am on. I'm live. I had some technical difficulties. Couldn't get my computer to act right. Couldn't even get all my stuff really set up because I was just trying to get my computer to act right. But I'm here to talk about these Eagles on a 3-game losing streak. And it's not good. So, and the reason why I say it's not good, I did some videos, and again I said sorry, Mom, about the Eagles. See, this is not what we're going to do today. This is not a part of the show. This is not a part of the show. So I'm just going to ignore that comment and just move on with the show. But I did a video after the Eagles lost to the Chargers, and it was profanity laced, and I'm sorry, Mom, but that's just how they made me feel. And in particular, that game to me was a Jalen Hurts game. Like, that was more, I was really frustrated more at Jalen Hurts than I was at even like Kevin Matullo, even though I think the guy is just in over his head. He just has no clue as to what he should be doing and what he shouldn't be doing, because it seemed like in that game, in like the first quarter, when they were running behind Jordan Mailata, Saquon Barkley was averaging like 9-10 yards a carry, running behind Jordan Mailata. And it just seemed like because you had success on that play, on those type of plays, bouncing to the outside, Kevin Matullo just stopped. He said, nah, we ain't going to keep doing that. That's working too good. Now let's try to keep going up the middle. And let's like, bro, you had, like, let's not reinvent the wheel. If the men is having success running behind Jordan Mailata, they keep running it. Keep doing that same play until they stop it. Because guess what? Again, like I've been saying all season long, it stretches the defense. They can't stack the box no more because now they got to worry about the outside. Then you go away from it, and now it's just ridiculous. But anyway, I don't like that was a small portion of the loss to the Chargers. To me, the biggest portion was Jalen Hurts. And again, like I said all season long, well, not even all season long. When Jalen Hurts, to me, it's checked out of what's going on play calling wise, offensive wise. To me, when he's checked out, it feels like he just doesn't try his hardest. It felt like none of the Eagles wanted to be there. Exactly. And it's a shame because, again, this team is so loaded with talent that comments like that shouldn't be a part of the equation. They're so loaded with talent. They got talent at every position, and yet and still they stink it up. And again, like I said, yes, that game last week was on Jalen Hurts. There's no way, there's nothing else you can say about that. That was on Jalen Hurts. Now I got people, when I put the video out and pretty much after the loss, people was talking, no, you can't say that. D definitely showed up that game. Showed up what game? the last game against the Chargers, I said the defense. I didn't blame the defense. I said the defense was. I mean, the game was lost on Jalen Hurts. That was a Jalen Hurts lost game. All the turnovers, all the overthrows, all the missed throws. That's Jalen Hurts. Now, I'm not saying he got to be perfect. You never hear me sitting here and say he's got to be perfect. There's nobody that's perfect. You know what I mean, except the man upstairs. But at the end of the day, that particular loss right there, that was on Jalen Hurts. I don't care what nobody said. And he even says it. That was on me. I got to play better. But the problem is, to me, it's not even that he got to play better. He got to no. He's to me, Jalen Hurts plays off his brainwave, like his mind. Like if he's like you seen last year when they brought Kellen Moore in, and once they figured out their identity and what they wanted to do, he was dialed in. He knew what he had to do. Because it's like I said, this is reminiscent of 2023 when you had Brian Johnson at the coordinator position, and that was supposed to be somebody he knew since he was a kid. And he checked out again with him. And you see the collapse. Him and Nick Sirianni, he checked out against him. And you seen the collapse. This is reminiscent of the same thing. Like he's doing the same thing this year that he did in 2023. Jalen had a horrible game. That's definitely his fault. Yes, that game is his fault. But, you know, so many people, that's why I put a video out and said, when did the Philadelphia fan base become so sensitive? Like, this is what I don't get about the Philadelphia fan base right now. Because the man, he's been in 2 Super Bowls in 3 years. Won one, was the Super Bowl MVP of the one. Took down Patrick Mahomes, however you want to say it. Why is he above criticism? Shouldn't that be like a normal that we should expect from our quarterback? Shouldn't that be something that we should get used to? Like, so if he has a game like he played against the Chargers, shouldn't the true fans come out and say, yo, bro, that stunk. You stunk that game. What would be the real issue with saying that? What's the real problem with voicing that he stunk that game? I don't get how many people went online, made posts and said, if you're a Jalen Hurts hater, you're not a real Eagles fan. No, you're not hating on Jalen Hurts because you criticize the way he played. You're not hating on him. You're not considered an Eagles fan because you got criticism for your star QB, who you know, most of them people who put those posts up know they can play better than that. So why we can't say nothing? Why we got to be like, okay, no, he had a bad game. We want more. We had a chance to go back to back. Why we can't experience that? Like we have a chance to literally go back to back Super Bowl appearances. And our quarterback is playing like trash. We should be happy about just the 2 Super Bowls in 3 years? No. Like why should we be happy about 2 Super Bowls in 3 years when we had a chance to get 3 Super Bowls in 4 years? With an opportunity to go back to back. Somebody help me understand that. Like, I don't understand that. We have a chance to have 3 Super Bowls in 4 years, winning 2 back to back. Something that Philadelphia fans would love to see happen. But it only happens if we hold our QB accountable, our team in general. When we went out and stunk it up on Black Friday against the Bears, we called out the defense. Defense, this is on you. Like you stunk that game. When Adoree Jackson is missing tackles or getting beat bad, we call him out. Adoree, that's on you. When Saquon is not seeing the holes, we'll say Saquon is on you. For God's sake, AJ Brown had dropped passes in that game against the Chargers. That could have potentially sealed the deal. We call him out. When he's on the sideline pouting, or when he's in the post game interviews or on streams talking crazy, we call him out. Why we can't call Jalen Hurts out? Why is he so much above criticism because he went to 2 Super Bowls in 3 years? Why is that the thing? Like, why you can't do that? Nobody ain't gonna tell me why you can't do that. And it's big name people. I'm not gonna name no names on my show, but it's big name people that are saying stuff like that. He's 51-25 over 4 or 5 years. So what? So what? So what? And like I said, some people will sit there and say, I don't like Jalen Hurts. I hate you. No, I'm a Philadelphia fan. You see, I got my Sixers on, right? I criticize Embiid to the death. Jason will tell you. I go at Embiid a lot because I don't like the effort that he brings on the court. I don't like the mentality that he brings on the court. I'm even at the point, even with him having 39 the other day or 35, whatever it was, I'm even at the point to say that we can move on. Because I like what Max said. So that's just a true fan holding his team accountable for the things that they're not doing. Joel Embiid is the star. He was the MVP of the league. And yet he still, to me, doesn't take it seriously as he needs to. And there's a total difference with Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts went to the Super Bowl, lost it. Not all on his fault. It was a couple bad calls, but defensive breakdowns and things like that. Had a bad season the next season. Came back, regrouped, got it together, went to Super Bowl and won MVP. And now you come into the next year, the same team virtually even got better through draft, and you stinking it up. And it's not him that's stinking it up, but particularly in certain games he's stinking it up, so we can call him out. But a lot of people will sit there and say, we can't. We can't. People say, like, even right now, this year, a true Kansas City fan right now, if Kansas City loses today, I think their playoff chances is done. If they lose today, they think they're out. A true Kansas City fan will call his team out. Let's say Patrick Mahomes go out there today and throw 4 interceptions in a loss, and they get eliminated from the playoffs. A true Kansas City fan will say, Patrick Mahomes, you cost us this game today. And that doesn't erase what he did in the past. That doesn't erase nothing he did to get to that point. 4 Super Bowls. You can't erase him. But I can hold you accountable for what you did today. You had a hell of a last game. Who had a hell of a last game? Adoree Jackson, you talking about? Who you talking about had a hell of a last game? I be rambling so fast, and sometimes when you comment, it comes in late, and I don't really see what you're saying. So I apologize if I have to go, if you have to, if I say who you talking about. But it's just amazing to me how our fan base can be comfortable and okay with what we've done in the past and not hold our team accountable for what we could do in the future. Like, you okay with saying that, oh, we won a Super Bowl last year. We won a Super Bowl last year. He was a Super Bowl MVP last year. Even if we missed the playoffs this year, it's okay because we won it last year. Now, I know I put a post up like that and saying at least we won a Super Bowl because that's frustration. That's knowing that you could do better and you're not. That's knowing you could be better and you're not. Like, how me as a fan, I shouldn't settle for that. Now, I ain't gonna sit here and I'm gonna say I go down to the Linc and I pay my money, but for those people, for those fans that do go down to the Linc and spend their hard-earned money, to go to attend the game, it ain't cheap. And every year the prices go up. And even with that being said, I can't criticize you now. But you're gonna take my money and you're not gonna think nothing of it. You're gonna charge me them high prices for a beer, and you're not gonna think nothing of it. So I should be able to sit there and look at you and say, hey, yo, you stunk. It'd be okay. And I don't be considered less of a fan. Or I shouldn't settle for what we had in the past. Like, that's the point I'm making as Eagles fans and as fans, period. Understand that you have a duty to hold your team accountable regardless of what they did in the past. And your fandom shouldn't be in question because you do that. You shouldn't be called into question because you called out your team. Your team should understand that, hey, if I don't want this guy or any fan, talking crazy about me, no matter what the play is, no matter what's going on the field, no matter what the situation in the game is, I'm going to execute it the best I can. And last week, we did not see Jalen Hurts do that. We did not see Jalen Hurts do that. Here's another thing. I put out a video, and I'm bragging on this video because it's the first time I ever had a video that semi in my eyes went viral on TikTok. It was on TikTok, and I'm getting some traction on Facebook and Instagram. I'm getting a couple views on those videos too. But I put out a video that said down the stretch. This was after the bye week. I said after the bye week, with the remaining schedule that we have, we should easily. I think I said 9-1. 9-1. And then one loss to me would have been against the Bills. Maybe I jinxed the team. Maybe I jinxed this because we lost 3 straight. We lost to the Cowgirls. We lost to who was the other team? Darn. Cowgirls. We lost to the Chargers, and we lost to the Bears. 3 games we supposed to have won. 3 games we go into those games, and we're the better team on paper, period. But what we didn't have in those 3 games was the heart. Because in the Cowboys game, how do you go up 21-0? And this is that game, Kevin Petula. And he's been getting roasted all year long, even to the point where they threw eggs at the man house. I don't think that was cool. I don't think that was being a sports fan. That was just being idiots. You damaging the man's house, his family, his kids. Like no matter what he doing on that field, outside of him going to another team or getting out of there, I don't want to see nothing, no bodily harm or no damage done to his property, any of that. That's just stupid. It's a football game. We ain't getting paid for it. Even if they win the Super Bowl, we ain't getting nothing off of it but bragging rights to our friends. So it ain't that deep for somebody to go past his house and throw eggs at it. That's just stupid. But anyway, that was a Kevin Petula loss. That game right there was a Kevin Petula loss, right? We should have won that. We had 21-0. Going in the second half, we should have made adjustments, knowing that they're going to do something different in the second half than what they did in the first. Knowing they're going to play us different. Knowing their defense is going to do things different to see if they can stop us. We didn't do it. Kevin Petula again. We go against Chicago. All right. This is a real measuring stick for Caleb Williams to see if he's as good as the league thinks he might be. We got one of the best defenses on paper. Now, we've been getting shredded by the run, but we got one of the best defenses on paper. We go out there and 2 running backs put up 107 yards on us. 125. Swift had 120 or something like that. That was a defensive game. We should have beat that game. We should have won that game. That was on Vic Fangio and the defense. We needed to make plays and make stops. Then we come out against the Chargers, a team again. The man Justin Herbert had one hand. One hand. And you could tell, you could visibly tell that he was irritated because he couldn't use his other hand to execute plays the way he wanted to. He was so fearful of doing more damage to that hand that everything he did was in protection of that hand. And we as defense, we took advantage of that. We damn sure took advantage of that. The offense didn't take advantage of it. The offense didn't. We didn't protect the ball. We didn't make plays. We didn't see open receivers across the middle and didn't throw to them. That was Jalen Hurts. And it bugged me because 2 plays before the first interception, I think you had AJ by yourself and you had Devontae by yourself, or maybe even Goddard. You didn't throw it to neither one of those on those 2 open plays. But the third down, when you know they doubling AJ Brown, because you know they know you're going to go to him to convert for the first down, you try to force the ball into double coverage and it results in an interception. That's Jalen Hurts. You got to see that better. And I think even on that play, Smitty was wide open. You got to understand that. Like Kevin Petula could call the basic generic plays. But you got to understand what's on the field. You got to go through your progressions. You got to understand what you're looking at out there on the field. And we, like I said, this to me, we become soft because we can't call him out on that because of what he done last year. and a year before that, and a year before that. That to me doesn't make sense. That to me doesn't make sense. Y'all quiet today. What's going on? Everybody a little shell shocked? How's everybody doing so far? You already saw the weather report my mom already put out. It is very messy up here today. After the show, I might have to go outside and shovel some snow and do that type of thing. But it is what it is. That's just the weather up here in the north. Hey, listen, this is a white. Hopefully, it might end up having a Hallmark Christmas, a white Christmas, which you won't have now. So now, how you feel about that? But anyway, y'all quiet. Nobody's really talking. I'm trying to figure out, what do y'all feel like? What do you feel about Jalen Hurts right now? Like, if you had to give Jalen Hurts, based off this whole season right now, this season right now, what grade are you giving Jalen Hurts? And then what grade are you giving the Eagles organization or the Eagles team, period, overall? Me right now, I'm giving Jalen Hurts maybe a C+. I'll give him a C+. The team, I'll give him a C. Because it's too erratic. And then when I say the team, to me, it's the coaches and the players. It's not just the players, it's the coaches too. The only person that, to me, that is standing out and making the best of his situations is Vic Fangio. That's the only person to me that is making the best of his situations. Outside of Vic Fangio, I think everybody else has stunk it up and not been consistent enough to win, to get us back to a point where we win in back-to-back Super Bowls. That's just my feeling. Y'all, like I said, y'all being quiet this morning, everybody being shy, nobody has nothing to say. Nobody's talking to me, so I'm ranting on and on and on and on, and nobody's, everybody's just looking at my face and not saying nothing. But again, I need y'all to wake up and talk to me now. Let's have a conversation. Let's have an uncomfortable conversation. Let's talk about what we don't want to talk about. Let's talk about how we need to do better. How we need to hold our team more accountable for what they're doing and not doing. Yes, sir. I ain't gonna repeat it, but yes, sir. But at the end of the day, man, listen. Like I said, overall, I give the Eagles organization, the Eagles, a C. I give Jalen Hurts a C-. I'm giving Vic Fangio a B+. Vic Fangio has been only consistent to me. He's had some bad games, and that's all due to a lot of different injuries he's had on defense. Jalen Carter's out again today. So that's. I mean, this Raiders team, they won 2 games all year. I think Pete Carroll might be gone after this because I think the Pete Carroll experiment didn't work. Fans are crazy for talking about firing Nick like he didn't bring us 2 Super Bowls. We only had 4 appearances. I think he could miss playoffs back-to-back years, and I would still want him around. Yeah, I agree. I agree. I don't think Nick Sirianni is the problem. Kevin Patullo should be gone, not Nick Sirianni. You said Demian is playing at an all-pro level. Who's that? I've been a fan since '96, and I tell you, we had some dark days. We had a lot of dark days, and that's what I'm trying to understand. Like, that's what I'm trying to get people to understand. Just because we had a lot of dark days doesn't mean that we should be used to that. Just because we got 1 Super Bowl or 2 Super Bowls shouldn't mean that we should be okay. Like, if Jalen Hurts brought us the Super Bowl last year, Cooper DeJean, Cooper DeJean, yeah. Just because Jalen Hurts brought us the Super Bowl last year doesn't mean that he's above criticism this year. Like, we have to change our mindset and the way we think to be more of the norm is winning. The norm is achieving high levels. The norm is playing, Philly-style football and not the norm being, oh, well, at least he brought us the Super Bowl last year. Or at least we went to 2 Super Bowls in 3 years. Would you trade 2 first-round picks? 2 first-round Jalen Hurts? No, I wouldn't. Not at all. Nope. What? I wouldn't trade him. I'm not trading Jalen Hurts. Here's the point. Why you don't trade, especially for Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow's hurt all the time. Like, Jalen Hurts is one of the most reliable quarterbacks you can get. He just needs a consistent coordinator. If he had a consistent coordinator, it would be no issues about nobody would be questioning about Jalen Hurts. People going too far with that. Exactly. But, the point of it is that people don't understand what other, like, for instance, look at Kansas City. They have so much success over the last couple of years. They're just used to it. It's a norm for them. They're not going to know how to deal with it right now, but they still, I guarantee there's probably diehard Kansas City fans that's going to hold their team accountable for coming up short this year. They are, because they're used to greatness. They're used to winning. They're used to being that team. We're not used to that, but we should be. We can be. I mean, if you think about it, 2 Super Bowls in the last 3 years, or 2 Super Bowl appearances, 1 win in the last 3 years, should tell you that you're good enough. You should expect high, remarks or high performance to get back to Super Bowl level. You shouldn't be sitting there telling me, oh, well, at least we won last year. It's a lot to give, and Jalen is proven the winner, so it's fair. So I'm not giving up on Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is having a bad right now year. Only thing I think he needs is a consistent coordinator, and Jalen Hurts would be the best. Be right back to that Super Bowl MVP type quarterback. Give him some consistency, and he'll be okay. It means we should start at least be more tolerant. I mean, why did we face Lane on IR? Lane had his strength injury. This will be hard for him to get back. Our offensive line this is the worst I've ever seen an offensive line. You know what I mean? Injuries is killing us. Injuries is definitely killing us. Jay, you said we should be more tolerant. Yes, we should understand, like, we get to talk about our players if they mess up. If Jalen Hurts goes out today and has a hell of a game, 4 touchdowns, 300 yards, every fan in the world is going to say, I knew he got it. I knew he was back. Every fan is going to want to take credit for that performance. But if he goes out and stink it up, 90% of the fans are going to say, well, at least he brought us the Super Bowl last year. Yeah, but he missed 4 weeks. If we put them on IR, we would have been eligible for next weekend and then had an extra roster spot. But the problem is, if you activate Lane Johnson and he's not fully healthy, he's going to want to play. And I'm on the fence of, like, what Jalen Carter did when I had surgery on the shoulders now to get more healthier for the playoff run. So, I'm looking at it like that. If we get him back for the playoffs, I'm cool with that. That's when you're going to need him more. Anything is possible, but you should be able to beat the Raiders today. You should be able to beat the Commanders twice. And we'll see about the Bills game. But you should be able to, these last 4 games, you should be able to at least 3-1 go 3-1. You should be able to, which will put you in the playoffs and which you'll be okay. We don't know what's going to happen because we know this team is unpredictable. They're unreliable. We can't say for sure that that's going to happen. But I'd rather have Lane Johnson for the playoffs than the last 3 games of the season when we should be able to beat these teams without Lane Johnson. Browns had 10 sacks versus the Raiders. How many do we get? Wasn't ready. I don't think we get 10. I think that we could get a good number. It depends. It really depends on the hypeness and the hype level of our defense. You know what I mean? I think what Jalen Phillips has brought, Nolan Smith has brought, coming back off an injury. Jordan Davis. I think it's going to be a lot of pressure on Geno Smith. I think Geno Smith is going to be uncomfortable pretty much all game long, and that's what we need to make it. Come out with a victory. I think that's exactly what we need to come out with a victory. You missing what I'm saying? I'm happy he's missing time and getting. You usually put some. Yeah, I get you. My bad. But I'm just saying, like, Geno was out. Okay, Geno was out. That's even better. That's even better for us. But so we're saying the same thing. I'd rather have Lane Johnson back for the playoff run than having him for the rest of the season. So again, I get what you're saying. But like I said, at the end of the day, it's a lot. You know what I mean? And like I said, to start off the show, to sit there and go back and forth about how you can't criticize Jalen Hurts because he won us he got us into 2 Super Bowls and won one. I don't think that's cool. Kenny Pickett is starting. Yeah, he ain't. He's not. He's trash. But you know what? Let me say this, right? I say he's trash, right? And the funny thing is, he'll go out and have one of those like career-changing games. Watch if we lose. Yeah, if we lose to Kenny, our season is over. Like, watch he have one of those career-changing games against the Eagles. Because I hope it don't happen, but it's just like it's like how JJ McCarthy been all season. 1 minute he's trash, and the next minute he's like playing some good football. Like I said, man, everybody's professional that's playing in the game and playing in the league, but I just don't I think if you lose to the Raiders today, it's going to be a problem. I think heads need to start rolling now. Depending on how we lose, I think if we lose because of the offensive game being predictable, the plays being predictable, and their jumping routes and things like that, I think you got to just say to yourself, I got to cut ties now. Even though that's my friend, even though I believe that, that's my guy, I got to go a different route because I can't hinge my future on your uncertainty. Like, I can't sit there and say that I'm a let my coaching future ride out on your inexperience or your non-adjustments. So like if that's the case, you gotta make a decision today. It's business. It is business. Nick and Jalen have never lost 3 twice. And I'm hoping that's the case, but the way they play, you never know. They would have been playing the last 3 games, you never know. Texas Speech put the twice. But like I said, it's going to be a good game. We should come out with a victory. Like I said, we should, out of the next 4 games, we should at least at the very, very minimum go 3-1. The Bills team, like I said, the Bills team is not the team that I'm overly confident in. They got their ups and downs this year. And when the season started, it was the prediction for the Super Bowl was probably between the Ravens and the Bills, but the Ravens are pretty much out of it. So now it'll probably be the Bills, maybe the Patriots, because the Patriots is looking good, and the Eagles are supposed to be on the NFC side. Now on the NFC side, it could be the Rams, it could be the Packers. You never know. There's no way because we beat the Rams already this season. We beat them four times out of the last time 4 we played. There's no reason why we can't beat them. And actually, this game was we showed some type of gut and some heart. We had balls about ourselves. We came back from a loss. Hey, my man Frank, what's going on, Frank? Good morning, brother. I don't care about today. They should clobber the Raiders. I am waiting for the playoffs to see what they do. I am too. They should clobber the Raiders, but you never know. You can't put all your stock in the basket of the Eagles right now because they don't show consistency. They don't have any. It's week 15 and they don't have an identity. They don't have an identity at all. Lamar played 10 games and 5-5 this year. and he has King Henry. Where's the hate from the media? Oh no, I got a Ravens fan that's a friend of mine. He wants John Harbaugh gone. He's now leaning towards the offensive coordinator being gone. They're not too happy. They did get robbed that last game. I was at that last game. I didn't see the touchdown because we had left before that. What's up, Frank? But they did get robbed in that touchdown to Isaiah Likely. That was a touchdown. I don't care what nobody said. That was a touchdown. He established possession of the ball with 2 feet in the end zone. They got robbed. Ain't no other way to look at it. They got robbed in that game. But with the Eagles, there's no identity at week 15. That to me is ridiculous. Not going to lie, last 2 games they did not. They did get robbed. They was 3. Yeah, the Ravens have been. They've been victim of some bad refereeing, and it's messed up because that type of stuff derails your season. Even though I'm a proponent of saying that I don't want to sit here and say that I'm gonna let a referee dictate the outcome of my game, because if I let the referee dictate the outcome of my game, I didn't play hard enough, or my team wasn't prepared enough to win. Because we shouldn't let the refs dictate our games. Our identity is becoming the D line. Yeah, that's what it seemed like. Yep. But we have no offensive identity. My coworker's a Raven fan. He wasn't the coach. He wants the coach gone too. Yeah. Everybody. I mean, the guy I hang out with, he wants John Harbaugh gone, and he's starting to lean towards the offensive coordinator too. Yep. Big Jordan Carter, Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis. Yeah. We got some dogs on defense. We got some dogs on defense, and at the end of the day, we just got to keep playing. We got to get ourselves together, man. We got to get ourselves together and get back to Eagle style football. That's bottom line. All right, so listen. Last week, I'm getting ready to go in the pick'em section of the show. My bad, y'all. I usually had this paper out, but last week, a 3-week in a row winner. Shout out to my coworker, Natty. She won 3 weeks in a row. Imagine having Harbaugh and wanting him fired. That's wild. Yeah, Harbaugh, he's a good coach. And I mean, I think he gambles. He gambled a lot in the past and cost him some games. But I don't think he's as bad as a lot of people makes him out to be. You know what I mean? He has a team. I think the problem is, his coordinator's off. He got to find a better offensive coordinator. There's going to be a lot available this season. One I may keep, even though he's not making himself look good right now, is Kevin Stefanski from Cleveland. He's definitely not making himself look good because I don't think he's going to be back as the coach next year at Cleveland. And what he's doing with Shedeur Sanders is just like crazy. So I don't think he's making himself. And that was somebody I would have kept an eye on as coordinator. There's a couple other guys out there that I would keep an eye on as coordinator. What's the guy named from Miami Dolphins? The coach, I forget his name. I'll keep my eye on him as an offensive coordinator. Also, Lamar's Harbaugh in clutch situations sometimes. Yeah, he does have his down moments. He does have his down moments. But like you said earlier, you have King Henry. They should run the ball constantly with King Henry. First, second down, run the ball. Create third and shorts. That way, it's a lot easier on Lamar Jackson. And plus, on a third and short, you don't know whether he's going to take off or pass the ball. You know what I mean? So it makes it easier for your offense to convert. Then it's sort of like what the Eagles should do. You know what I mean? We can't run up the middle right now because our offensive line is decimated with injuries. But if we take those chunks like we had last week and get behind Jordan Mailata and get 6-7 yards to carry, third down becomes so much more easier and manageable to convert than it does if you third and long. We lead the league in third and longs. We lead the league in third and longs. And it don't have to be like that. We just need to understand the play calling that we have. Like, we need to understand the players that we have on our team. Come out and run the ball first, maybe second down. Get a 3rd and 5, 3rd and 4. it'll be a threat of Jalen Hurts running or a threat of A.J. Brown on the slant. Either way, the defense got to play honest. Who was the old coordinator? I think he. I don't know who was it last year. I forget. I think he's. I don't know who was the coach last year. I think this year it's the guy Todd Monken. I don't know who it was last year. I can't remember his name. But I mean, he has a and 3 and outs. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We lead the league in 3 and outs over the last 6, 7 games. Eagles are just making simple mistakes like the flag that Cooper's pick call back last week. Don't even see media talking about that, but it was huge. No, a lot of times people don't remember the plays like that. A lot of times people don't remember what some of the individual plays, and it should be. But at the end of the day, like I said, referees should not be in a position to dictate a win or loss for your team. That's just my thought process. Referees should not be who dictates a win or a loss for your team. That's just my thought process. But anyway, getting back to the Pick'em Week 15 Pick'em section of the show. Like I said, congratulations to Nate. 3 weeks in a row she won. And I'm not even being smart. I put out videos every probably Wednesday, maybe Thursday, depending on work schedule and all that, predicting the games, right? And I admit, I'm like, I averaged about 4, maybe 5 losses, pretty much all year long. Week before I went, it was that week was bad, that was week 14, I think. No, 13 it was. That was crazy. But for the most part, she watches my videos, likes my, takes most of my picks and then switch up a pick here and there. And like I'm telling you, it's working. So I'm not trying to sit here and toot my own horn, but I know what I'm talking about a little bit. They're basically going through what we go through, new offensive coordinator just not working out. Yeah, but I think here's the difference. What I say, I think the only difference between the coordinators from us to them is that I think Lamar Jackson it doesn't matter what Lamar Jackson thinks about the coordinator. I think he's going to execute the play. Whatever he's going to try his best to execute the play. I think the difference is that Jalen Hurts doesn't always have that same mindset. You know what I mean? Like, that's the difference. I think for them, truthfully, and they did a stat on it saying that if King Henry doesn't run the ball on first and second down, the offense ranked last in the league. If they run the ball on first and second down, their offense is the top 5, top 10 in the league. That's just different. I'm ready for this game too, brother. I'm ready for this game too. But so again, like I said, this is the Pick'em section of the show. We're gonna start off with my picks. Okay, I'm just telling you, I'm producing victories over here like 3 weeks in a row. I don't know, you know what I mean? And just telling you, just you gotta trust me. But Thursday, Atlanta beat Tampa Bay, which I had Tampa Bay winning that game because I thought Tampa Bay was trying to, get their and they're not out of the playoff race, but I mean, we know what Atlanta is. Atlanta has never all season long has not been consistent. All season long has not been consistent. So it was easy for us to say that Tampa Bay should have won that game because of what we see Baker Mayfield doing. They're getting receivers back, that's been hurt, and they're getting healthy. Last year we were dead last getting to the line. This year we're close to dead last. Do you put the blame on Nick or Jalen? Because that can't be KP. It was worse last year. It could be a combination of both, but it also depends. You say it can't be KP, but it depends on when KP is getting the call in. See, the difference is, and Nick Foles said this, to be honest, Nick Foles said this on his podcast. You got to have the flow of the game. You got to know the flow of the game. So when you call them plays, like when you do, like say you first down, you make a play call, and then you see what success or failures it has on that play. You already should be knowing as soon as that ball snaps for first down to be looking to see what you could call for the second down. And Nick Foles said it too. Nick Foles said maybe Kevin Patullo should go up to the booth and call offensive plays because that way you can see the flow of the game better. And maybe perhaps you could possibly get the calls into the plays, into the team a lot better. I wonder if Foles would be interested in the OC role. We've seen how J.J. Redick role. Yeah, but see, everybody is not equipped to be. See, with the Lakers, with J.J. Redick, I mean, being honest, there was no real expectation of you winning a championship with the team that had constructed. They had no way to win a championship. It could be competitive. They didn't get lucky. They had the best player. They have the best player in the league, but they don't have no chance to win a championship. So the pressure is not the same. Like for Nick Foles stepping into an offensive coordinator with this team who he's never called plays or actually been on the coaching staff, it's a lot of pressure on you. It's a lot of pressure on you to get it right because at the end of the day, people are looking for experience. They're looking for, to be led the right way. And if you don't have that experience and you don't know how the game flows and this, that, and the third, it's hard for you to do that. Luka's unbelievable. No, he's unbelievable, but they still need, LeBron retires, they might be able to do something. These coast experiences in winter weather and cold temperatures, so your viewers should keep that in mind when making their choices. Oh boy, whatever. So next game today at 1:00, we have Cleveland-led Shedeur Sanders at Chicago Bears. That's going to be a tight game, but I did pick the Bears in that game. That's another guy, Brian Dable. I seen the Giants are going to bring KP in for it. Yeah, I seen that too. Sometimes I think that's clickbait, but I see that too. But yeah, about an hour the Week 15 game start for 1:00. I got the Cleveland Cleveland Cavaliers. Cavaliers. Sorry, like what? What am I talking about? Basketball. Cleveland Browns at the Chicago Bears. I got Chicago in that game. I think Chicago's run game is really going to be key in this game because Myles Garrett is getting after the quarterback. He's going to be he's a beast. He's got 19, 20 sacks on the year. Like that's crazy. David would only not work because he wants to be a head coach. No, if he doesn't get a head coaching position. But, I think the only thing that would kill us with any coordinator we bring in, to be honest, with any coordinator we bring in, what's going to kill us is that they're most likely going to be one and done with the type of team we have. That's the issue. He's going to be one and done. He said tooting his own horn, but he always loses to me. I don't know. I know I don't always lose to you, brother. You out of control. My mom was Chicago. Jason was Chicago. I was Chicago. We believe Chicago got enough to beat Cleveland. Look at y'all trying to agree and be on each other on the same side. Y'all, you know what? Watch this week. Watch this week. I'm telling y'all. Next game, Baltimore at Cincinnati. I got Cincinnati in that game. Joe Burrow has been throwing the ball. I think T. Higgins is out though. I didn't realize that when I made that pick. We need to find some old dude like Vic who lives in Philly. But there isn't someone like that. Yeah, I know. All the young OCs out there, with the firepower we have, teams is going, be, trying to pick them away from us. Vic Fangio doesn't want to be a head coach, so he's cool with his role. Even though, like I said, he would he definitely after the performances he had, with the defense that he put together with us, he could be a head coach somewhere, but he doesn't want to be. Yeah, T got a concussion. Yeah, he's out, and I didn't realize that when I picked that game. But I'm still going to Cincinnati. Baltimore to me is just they're done. You know what I mean? They're run. I think their season is over because of the way they've been losing and what's been going on in that organization. So I think they're done. Jason went Bengals. My mom went Baltimore. I went to Bengals. So we'll see what happens in that. Next game is the Los Angeles Chargers at the Kansas City Chiefs. Like I told y'all all season, I've been telling y'all, yes, Joey Burr. I've been telling y'all all season long that Kansas City reign was over this year. And today they puts the final nail in the coffin. I think the Chargers comes out, even though it's at Arrowhead. And I think they come out and beat the Chiefs. The Chiefs, like I said, they done. They're done. And like I said, it doesn't. But even though they're done, their fans are still going. Their true fans will criticize Patrick Mahomes, especially if he goes out and have a bad game, or if the organization itself just has a bad game. I think they're going to call him out, but it doesn't take away what they did in the past. That's the only part. That's the only thing I'm saying. Sorry. Chargers covers 5.5, but Chiefs win. I think Chiefs going to lose. I think Chiefs going to lose. I don't know. We'll see. You say 21-20. Okay, we'll see. I don't know. That's a close game. That is a close game, but I think the Chiefs lose. I think they're done. Their reign is over. But they're done that. But they're done that for Vic. Yeah, I don't think Vic wants to be a head coach though. If that's what you're saying. And Jason with the Chargers. I don't think Vic Fangio wants to be a head coach. I think Vic Fangio is content where he's at and what he's doing, and I think that's how he wants to ride his career out. That's just what I think. I mean, I don't know. Something's gonna happen. Something going on. But that's just what I think. We'll see. We'll see what happens though. Next game. Nah, Vic already said he gave up on a head coaching dream. Yeah, I just don't think he cares for that. You know what I mean? He's cool. He won a Super Bowl. That's what he wanted to do. He's a defensive coordinator. He's going to go down as one of the best defensive coordinators there is. And, I think he's content with that. That was his dream, but he wasn't good enough to, and he realized it. That was a good one. Next game is the Washington Commanders at the New York Giants. I took the Giants in that game. I think that Jackson Dart is going to have a good game. Commanders are, if the Commanders are smart, they lose the rest of their games this season and play and get the lottery pick, and then just try to come back next year with a strong team. You know, they talk about Jaden Daniels. It might be coming back against us. He doesn't. We his what until retirement run. Okay, I'm not sure what you're saying. I think you might have got auto corrected a lot. The Giants win. No JD5 and no Ertz. Yeah, they said JD5 might come back against us. I don't. Did I skip one? Oh yes, I did. Buffalo and New England. I'm sorry, Buffalo and New England. That's a good game, Buffalo and New England. That is going to be a good game. And the Eagles are playing. What time the Eagles are playing? 1 o'clock. Both of them games might have to make the TV. Buffalo and New England is going to be a good game. I'm sorry, and I picked Buffalo. Even though New England is playing some good football, but I think Buffalo, to solidify their respect throughout the league, I think Buffalo has to show that they can rise to the occasion and beat teams like this. Even though they lost, I think they lost week 3 to New England. They got to beat New England today to show and prove that they're ready to make that next step. Because like I said, it's over for Kansas City. And no reason should. Yeah, I agree. I don't think he should come back, but I know they was talking about he might come back next week against the Eagles. I don't agree with it, but I think they were saying that. Buffalo for you. My mom goes Buffalo. Josh Allen in December is a demon and the best QB. I don't care, argue with a wall. But the problem is, it's not even, and again, I had a debate with my guy at work. It's not even that Josh Allen is not the best in December. The problem is that for the longest time, the longest point in his career, and it's not always him, but that Buffalo team, that Buffalo organization would hit a wall when playing against Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. So I think he's 5-4 in regular season against the Chiefs, but then I think he's 0-4 in the playoffs. So that you got to look at that part too. They're not smart. They should stay QB for the year. I think so too. I agree with that. I would trade anything to get Allen and Philly. I don't. I mean, I'm not sitting there saying nothing about his talent. I'm cool with Hurts. I'm cool with Jalen Hurts. I'm not willing to move on from Jalen Hurts for nobody. I just want a better play caller. Somebody who understands the game, understands the flow of the game, and I think we'll be fine. I'm not moving on from Hurts. Jason with New England. I was saying this last team coaching before he retired. Oh yeah. This is his last team. This is Vic Fangio. He's done after this. You know what I mean? But we'll see. Next game is now the Washington Commanders at the New York Giants. I went New York Giants in that. As I said, Washington, if Washington is smart, I would be ready to lose every game to get a high lottery pick, and I would, be willing, to tank the rest of the season for that. So if I was Washington, I'm losing today, so I'm going with the Giants. I think the Giants is a better team. Plus, I think they only won like 2 or 3 games too all season long. So both teams are in contention for the best, for the number 1 pick or a top 5 pick. So if I was either one of those teams, both of them. I would be trying to lose. But my mind goes NY. I go New York. Um, I think New York, like I said, I think New York is going to wind up winning. When you're getting paid a quarterback of $1 billion, that's insane. Laugh out loud. Who you talking about getting paid a quarterback of $1 billion? Who's that? Next game is our game. The Raiders at the Philadelphia Eagles. It's going to be cold down at the Linc. There's snow all over the place. They're probably going to be throwing snowballs all over the place. We'll see what's going to happen, especially if they lose. A couple of people are going to get pelted with snowballs. Like it's going to happen. But I got Philadelphia winning. I think we're going. Quarter. You said a quarter. Okay. Yeah. But it's insane. But I think that's the price you pay for your quarter. Like, look at Tua. Tua makes that, and he's nowhere near as good as Jalen. Tua makes that. But at the end of the day, like when you're in a position to carry your team the way Jalen has done, you got to pay that money. You got to pay that price. High of 33 and Curly feels like 13. Okay, man. The Eagles. She picked the Eagles. Jason picks Washington. And the Eagles. I would be depressed if we had two. Exactly. And look at the money. Look at what Miami's paying that man. Look what Miami's paying that man, and look at the production they get. Wasn't worth it. And he strapped them for the next couple of years. They can't even get rid of him if they wanted to, because they wouldn't have no money to do anything else. Next game is the New York Jets at the Jacksonville Jaguars. New York Jets at the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jaguars in that game. Jets is another team that should be taking and trying to get a high draft pick. They did get draft picks for Sauce Gardner, but they should tank and get some more draft picks to help that organization turn around and be competitive. But I'm going Jacksonville in that game. My mom goes Jacksonville. Jason says Jalen is the 10th highest paid QB in the league. Yeah, I mean, but see, the funny thing about him being the 10th highest paid QB in the league, the funny thing about that, I think he's like number 1, number 2 at highest production and win percentage in the league. Number 1 of them, he's like top 5. I know that in win production. You know what I mean? So you got all these guys that's getting paid more than him. Like that doesn't do win at the highest level that he wins at. So that just be crazy to me how you can argue, top 5 QBs and then say he's not top 5. Tim paid and he's due a contract this offseason because he didn't get paid for after the bowl. They got a lot of people they got to pay. I know that. Next game, what was that game? Jaguars. And I went Jaguars. My mom went Jaguars. Jason went Jaguars. Next game is the Arizona Cardinals at the Houston Texans. Houston has got a pretty solid defense. Houston's going to win that game. Houston's a good team. They're going to win that game. Houston is probably going to, make some noise after starting off as a team we thought we had questions for. But they're looking pretty good coming down the stretch. AZ high of 83, shorts and flip-flops weather. Sucks to be there. Okay. Anyway. So I got Houston in that game. Houston is a way better team than Arizona. But I got Houston in that game. My mom, you pick Arizona, but the weather has nothing to do with the game. Houston just got a better team, had better defense, and they need this win. JC playing mid should save us some money there at least. Nah, it ain't gonna save us no money because you know the potential that man has. You know the potential. He's not playing mid. He's getting double teamed most of the season. You know what I mean? Like he was getting double teamed most of the season, so it was freeing up a lot of guys to do other things too. So it's not, you could say he was playing mid because he wasn't having the pressure that normally used to seeing from him. But there's no discount when you got to pay him. He's going to want that. He's going to get that bag. He's going to get that money. That's fair, to be honest. He always getting double. Yeah, he's double teamed a lot. This next game is going to be a good game too. Green Bay at Cleveland. Green Bay at Denver Broncos. JC not playing mid. No, he's not playing mid. He's double teamed a lot. And a better coach. Who's the better coach, Jay? I might have missed that one. My mom goes Green Bay. He's not playing elite. I definitely want more from him if he's making 40 to 50, 40 to 45 a year. I mean, listen, think about it. His presence on the field demands a lot of attention, and it frees up everybody else. So you can't discount that presence. And he's, like you said, he's still productive with double teams. But you can't discount his presence because when he's on the field, you got to account for where he's at. Teams have to look at where he's at and make sure they got a body on him. I don't think he was out of shape. He was injured. I think coming out of Georgia, he had a shoulder injury. He never got fixed. Jason went Denver. What D-Tag was worth that period? I think Jalen Carter might be worth it. They say the difference is huge, but if I look at the game, the one game versus Dallas, game 2 versus Dallas, I would argue he missed the first one and played the second one. The only problem with Jalen Carter is his mindset. That's his only problem. He got to develop a better mindset because he can't spit on people and think that's cool. Like, that's not cool at all. I'm trying to see who my mom picked Green Bay. Jason picked Denver. Oh, Houston has a better coach here, D'Amico Ryans. But I went Green Bay in that game. Next game is Detroit Lions at the LA Rams. That's going to be a good game too. I did pick the Rams. I think the Lions, they're a good team. Lions are a good team. I think they always wind up suffering a bunch of injuries at the wrong periods of the season. The Lions always wind up to get injured at this time of the season. So I think that's the only part that hurts them. My mom goes Detroit. I went to Rams. Like I said, I think the Rams they're a good team. If anybody can make the Super Bowl, if the Eagles not going to make it, I think the Rams will be the team to represent the NFC. I'm just saying there's really no Aaron Donald that type. Yeah, right now it's that's worth 40. Yeah, I agree with you on that. But if anybody has the ability and has the dominancy to kind of be that, I would think that it would be Jalen Carter. And I think Jalen Carter could demand that type of money because it's just based off of who he is and what he's done in his first 3 years in the league. I think that's the reason why he would get that type of money because of that. I mean, like I said earlier, look at Tua. Tua was the only quarterback that they had at the moment. They had to pay him. And whether it's right or wrong or indifferent, I think that you're gonna have to pay him. Jason with the Rams, it definitely would be JC. Yeah, I went the Rams too. Next game is Carolina at New Orleans. New Orleans got a sneaky win last week against a good team. They got a sneaky win, but I went Carolina. I'm going Carolina in this game against the Saints. I don't think the Saints are that good to beat Carolina. And Carolina is over 500. A lot of people don't even pay attention to that. Got to pay to play. You're exactly right. My mom went New Orleans. I'm going Carolina. Carolina, like I said, is a sneaky good team. He blew that with his play this year, I think. Who, Jalen Carter? He blew what, the money with his play? Is that what you're saying, Jay? Like I said, I got Carolina in that game. Next game is Tennessee at San Francisco. Jason with Carolina. I'm going San Francisco in this game. San Francisco, they've been a good team this year. Even though I thought they was going to take a step back Kyle Shanahan has had those guys playing some good football. I think they're going to be good. My mom picked San Francisco. Unrelated, the Sixers hat is dope. Appreciate that, man. You know, we talk Sixers over here too. Just right now it's hot and heavy with football right now, so we just staying in the football theme. But we'll be talking Sixers once football winds down. And plus they got a game today against Atlanta, so I kind of want to represent them for that. Sleeping on the Panthers, they have a good record. Yeah, yep. Jalen Carter didn't jeopardize his bag because of the way he plays. He's been double teamed, bro. Like if you take Jalen Carter off that field, it's besides maybe Jordan Davis, there's nobody else you really got to double team and account for. If you got Jalen Carter out there, you got to double team that guy. You got to know where he's at as an offense. If you're on offense and you're playing against Jalen Carter, you got to know where he's at. I don't understand what you're saying when you think he jeopardizes his bag. But he's still going to get paid. Jason went 49ers. I'm a Philly sports fan, 215 stand up. That's what's up, bro. That's what's up. Hopefully, you drop a like on this video, follow. I'm on TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, and X, and Facebook. Drop me a follow, brother, man. I do this all. I've been doing this for the last three years, I believe. The next game is the Indianapolis Colts at Seattle Seahawks. The Colts is starting 44-year-old Phillip Rivers. He's going to be a deer in headlights out there against that Seattle team. That's the wrong game. You want a guy like Phillip Rivers to be starting because at the end of the day, he's not mobile. I don't think he's ever really been mobile. And against the Seahawks defense, it's going to be a long game, a long day for him. He's going to be back on that couch after this game because he's going to be sore. This is going to be crazy. But I got Seattle in that game because, again, Seattle has a good defense. Jackson Smith and Jigba might mess around and make an MVP run. You never know. He might make an MVP run. Jason went Seahawks. My mom went Seahawks. I think the Seahawks got enough to win. Next game is Minnesota Vikings at the Dallas Cowboys. I got the Vikings. I got J.J. McCarthy showing off in a win against the Cowboys and really putting a nail in their season. And I just hate the Cowboys. Sorry. Just don't like them. So I got the Vikings in that game. To me, the Vikings are the better team. My mom goes Minnesota. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I'm pretty sure Jason might go Minnesota too. I don't know. We'll see. But Monday night, Miami at Pittsburgh. Miami. As much as I want to say, as much as they're done, as much as they're not a good team. Like I said, Mike McDaniels is his name. I'll take Mike McDaniels as the offensive coordinator for the Eagles. He's gonna get let go with the. He's gonna get let go by the Miami Dolphins at the end of the year. So if he's available, I'm taking him as a coordinator for the Eagles. I think I liked him as a coordinator for the 49ers, and I like what he did for the first couple seasons as a head coach for the Dolphins. My mom went Miami. Jason did go Vikings. Like I said, I'm going. I went Minnesota in that game, but I'm going Pittsburgh in the Miami-Pittsburgh game. Jason went Steelers. So we'll see. Like I told you earlier, man, if y'all just only listen to me and follow my picks, I'm telling you, you will have success. My bad. I had to get my bets in before the game started. Laugh out loud. I'm back. No worries. Appreciate it. McDaniels on bringing Frank Wright back, or I don't know. I Frank Wright might. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to Frank Wright. I think McDaniels might be a better pick because just how the young, innovative mind he is. Like sometimes with them old coaches, you get stuck in your ways and start doing things the way you want to do them. Appreciate that, Mom. But I wouldn't be mad if that was the choice. I would say. But if Mike McDaniels is out there, I definitely would try. I would definitely go Mike McDaniels over Frank Wright, but that would depend on if he doesn't want to pursue another head coaching position. You know what I mean? Like him, Brian Daboll, Kevin Stefanski. Even though I don't like what he's doing with Shador, those guys I would keep eyes on if I'm getting rid of or going away from Kevin Petula. But anyway, I know he's more younger and free thinking. That's the reason why I would do that. But that is my show. I was on for today. I was on for an hour. I'm on for an hour every Sunday. So if you're new to the show, if you're new to the audience, please drop a follow so that you can know and turn your notifications on so that you can know when I go live. I'm live every Sunday, 11 a.m. to 12, talking football, Eagles football, win, lose, or draw. I'm going to criticize my team, talk crazy about my team because I expect better and excellency from my team. That's just it. Frank White is super good friends with Nick. We don't need to bring him in. He was already involved. Plus, he's getting paid from the coach that I found out. But I mean, we can't go into next season with Kevin Patullo. You even saw Dable would be a great fit. Yes. You even saw Shady McCoy say, if Kevin Patullo is the offensive coordinator going into next year, take his name out of the Hall of Fame, out of the Eagles Hall of Fame. And, that's a lot to say. Dable would be horrible. No, I don't think Dable would be horrible. I think he would still be a good coordinator. He would leave in a year. But, yeah, that's the only – but any coordinator you have on offense with this team, they're going to be done, one and done. Any offensive coordinator you have with this team, they're going to be one and done. He got let go by the coach. Why do you think we're talking about him? But any coordinator with any type of good success is going to be one and done. Also, he would bench Hurts at halftime. Don't forget, oh my God, he getting paid for the coach. Why would we take less money to be in those? Yeah, I mean, listen, it's still the point of trying to get back in the league. He's trying to get back in the league and become a head coach again. That's why he probably would do it. He's better. He's definitely better than Kevin Patullo. You know what I mean? He's definitely better than Kevin Patullo. But I appreciate y'all for being a part of this, man. It means a lot to see a lot of new people here talking and engaging, man. I appreciate the support, man. Like I said, I'll be here. I'll be back next week at 11 a.m. If you're not doing anything, drop by. Join the show. Definitely will be depending on how we finish this year, yes. Even if we finish with a Super Bowl run, or even I still think you need, at least at the very minimum, if we win a Super Bowl, at the very minimum, I think you still need to bring somebody that can sit alongside of Kevin Patullo and help him with the flow of the game. I really do think that. But I appreciate it, y'all. I'm getting out of here. Before we get out of here, like we normally do, we'll play our little theme song, try to, inflict some energy in our team today.
Thing I want you to do for me.
What?
Come here.
What?
Win.
What are we waiting for?
You know what you gotta do. Do it.
How you feel what's about to happen on this field, man? They gonna get it to us. We got to take it. They want to black out. We gonna get one black out. Stay together and keep fighting. Down. It's time to knuckle up. Do everything they move. And it is Hurts touchdown. Brian Westbrook, he scored. Touchdown. And the Eagles win. The Eagles win. Let's get into it all day. Relentless. Are you script? Are you power? Are you low? Give me what you got. Right here. Right now. If you ain't ready for a fight, go ahead and go home. Because that's what this gonna be for 4 quarters. A fight. We always win when we fight together. That's how winning is done. Now get out.
Flyers, Phillies, let's talk about them. Sixers, Eagles, let's talk about them. What the Union doing? Pull up with the crew and have a drink or two and let's talk about them. This a PHI bar. Bruce Willis, we die hard. I know you feel us, cause Philly fans is the best sports fans by far. No cheating here, we gon' keep it fair. You don't like my set, somebody help them. This the key, if we can disagree without disrespecting, everybody welcome. So what we talking about? Practice? What we talking about? Let's unpack this. Top shelf, sports talk, lights, cameras, we active.